Hey, it's been a little while. Here I am to talk to you about some of the lessons that I have learned from my recent move from Salerno to Palermo. Now, as you can probably tell, I'm in a bit of an empty room. Behind me is going to be where my YouTube studio will be, but leading nicely into point number one, something you need to be aware of if you're thinking of moving in Italy is the condition of the property that you will take on. Now, this is a fairly large apartment, I'm not going to lie. However, we are into day 5 of the cleaning of this apartment alone. Day 5. Now, don't get me wrong, I think by the end of today we'll be completely finished and then we can start unpacking, but it has taken 5 whole days and the help of a cleaner who also worked with us for 2 of those days to be in this position. Now, this can vary depending on like what country you're from, but certainly in the UK, when you rent a property, there is normally a pre-tenancy clean that is done for you. But this doesn't happen here in Italy. Like, consider our apartment was stripped of all the wallpaper and the walls were painted prior to us moving in, but it meant there was a huge amount of dust and white powder on the floor after they had finished, which wasn't cleaned up. So we had to spend days just removing that layer of dust from window frames, from the floor, from walls, from doors, from everything basically. You know that dust goes everywhere. And honestly, I think this is the most intense move I've ever had. I've moved home in Salerno before, and don't get me wrong, like always stressful. Moving, I think, is always a stressful experience, but this is next level, primarily because of the amount of cleaning we've had to do and the amount of things we've had to do in our apartment to get ready. Now, this is the first apartment I've moved in where we've actually had to have a kitchen fitted. So something to note, often apartments in Italy are like shells, and this is exactly what this apartment was like. And so we were lucky to have inherited a couple of pieces of furniture from the previous owner, but everything else we have had to buy or source ourselves. And so this is definitely something that you need to be prepared for, because it's very different to how it is in other countries. But yes, the condition of this property was something else when we took it on, and I think I totally underestimated just how long it would take to have it ready to be at the stage where we can unpack. So definitely something to be prepared for. Okay, point number 2 that I want to share with you is to do with the details of your move. Please make sure that everything to do with your move is in a written format, whether that's a message, like it's in a text message, or whether it's something on a piece of paper, an email, whatever it may be. Something that we made the mistake of is that we took people's word for things, and a lot of it was because we had connections, and that's how we managed to source this apartment in the first place, through people we knew. However, we were verbally told things that later on didn't materialise, and I guess because we kind of vaguely knew these people, we trusted their word. But trust me, when it comes to money, when it comes to any kind of transaction, everything needs to be in writing, because otherwise you have no fallback. Like, there is no way you can argue a point based on words alone. You need to have some kind of written evidence to do with your contract, to do with whatever it may be relating to your move, to have a bit more of a case. So definitely make sure that every aspect of your move is documented in some way in a written format. Please don't take people's verbal promises, verbal agreements, they mean nothing. Make sure you document everything in writing. So another aspect of this move, big lesson that I've learned, is that things take time, piano piano. This is Italy. Now, I'm sorry if you hear the background noise, we've got lots going on in this apartment at the moment, but when we originally moved to Palermo, it was in August, and if you don't already know, August is a bit of a dead month here. Like, people take their holidays, it's the month where not a lot happens, businesses close, and so we've probably extended our move time by about 3 weeks because of this. So things are a bit slower here, so you have to be patient. This is one area in life that I struggle in, but you have to be patient. Things do take longer, and you just have to go with the flow a little bit, even if you wish they were quicker. This is Italy, it's just one of the prerequisites of living here. So you just have to go with the flow, because otherwise you can easily become stressed, and I promise you it doesn't help with your move at all. And probably the last aspect that I want to talk about in this video today is not to be afraid to negotiate. If you're not happy with something, please speak up and say something. I've mentioned this before in another video, I'll reference it up here, where I kind of spoke about how I think sometimes Italians can be quite passive in how they deal with situations. And it kind of caused a little bit of a debate, like people were saying, no, it's not true. But in my observations, yes, it is. Like, people can be very nice here and they accept things that aren't necessarily what they should be accepting. But my point is, don't be afraid to negotiate. We've encountered a couple of things to do with this move that weren't quite to our taste or to what we expected. And it took a bit of hardcore negotiation, but we did it. And I'm really proud of my boyfriend because I know this is something that he doesn't necessarily feel comfortable in doing, but we did it, and it's important. Like, you pay for services, and if they're not up to scratch and they're not what you expect, you need to have the confidence to be able to deal with it in that moment, and don't feel afraid to negotiate or to express your concern. It may not be the done thing here in every situation, but I think it's vital, especially when you're moving. Like, this is your move, your home, your stuff. You want to make sure it's exactly as you want it, basically. So I think if you've enjoyed this video, you're going to definitely enjoy this video next, right here, where I go into a little bit more detail about renting, because renting in Italy is wildly different compared to other countries, and certainly compared to my own experiences. And this video right here will go into a little bit more detail about that and help you if this is what you're going to be doing when you move to Italy. I will see you in the next video. Ciao for now.